Hi, we're back at Sync Summit here live in Hollywood at the Roosevelt Hotel, and we managed to catch up with Eric Sheinkop. Eric is the CEO of Music Dealers, which is the world's largest content provider for consumer music in the world. So Eric, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
You first formed your company, Bandit Productions, at 16 as a label, and I guess it morphed into a consultant company for ad agencies and then became an artist management company. You've now moved on to the licensing world. Talk about that transition. Talk about like the genesis of, because you've been in a lot of areas. You've transitioned into this, and I'm curious what led you to the place that you're at now.
I appreciate you asking. I didn't know that you were going to go that deep, so that's
okay.
nice. So I started the company in 1999 with the hope of becoming a record label.
Right.
Basically because I didn't know any better. I didn't know other options that were out there. The only thing I knew was label. But it just happened to be in 1999, 2000 was the time that the label started to get worried and destroyed. Napster came in and completely flipped the traditional label model on its head. And I was kind of sitting there as a consumer enjoying the platform of Napster and being able to access music whenever I wanted it, new music as much as I wanted, and also had a lot of artists that I was recording and I was trying to develop and cultivate. And throughout college, at university, I had a radio show and I'd focus on some upcoming talent and emerging talent and about artist discovery. I'd book a lot of bands, perform and DJ and see where the opportunities were with artists. And a couple years after university, it became apparent that there were two avenues to take to really realize success for an independent artist. And that was either live events and touring, which was extremely expensive, or it was sync placement and getting music into television commercials or movies or TV shows, which really didn't take a large investment. It just took an investment in your art and your talent and focusing on making good quality recordings, which our artists were doing anyway. So I was working as an engineer in a studio and had the opportunity to start working with Leo Burnett, helping them place music and find music for McDonald's and some other brands, and really got the opportunity by mistake when a massive rapper didn't show up to the McDonald's commercial that ended up rapping on a McDonald's commercial to kind of save the commercial from being kind of tossed and keeping it on the timeline. And that was fine. I got paid a little bit up front, which I was ecstatic about. But the royalties started coming in the next couple months, and they added up. Yeah, the performance royalties. They added up very quickly, and it was the first education I had about what performance royalties were. So seeing that and realizing we could duplicate that and do it over and over and with better artists than myself and really bring good artists into the commercial process, that's how we realized that sync was the avenue that we wanted to concentrate on. And 5 years ago, we went from using the artists that we managed at Bandit Production, and we needed more artists to work on more brands of all different styles of music. And that's when we decided that we needed to create Music Dealers, go beyond the management company, go beyond the label, work with talent from all different genres, which now extended to all over the world. So all music is going to be needed in this commercial sense at some point. So
Okay.
that's how we
Now, Music Dealers, you guys are a digital music platform, and you deal in a lot of different styles of music. But in addition, Music Dealers also offers a lot of other services, and I was wondering if you could talk about those other services, because it makes you distinct.
Sure. I mean, it all comes back to how do you create value from music for a brand, for a television show? How do you create a better connection to the demographic that's watching it? How do you create a more meaningful engagement through the use of music?
Mm-hmm.
So if it's just sync and it's just finding a song and making sure they have quick, easy access to it, that's the sync aspect, and that's what we do. All day, 24 hours a day, people access our site from all around the world and are finding music. But then if you want to go beyond that, there's a lot of custom creation to incorporate the sonic identity or the brand personality into songs that already exist and are reworked, or complete custom songs from scratch to represent something like we just finished the Olympic theme for Russia for the Olympics this year for Coca-cola, and focusing on creating an anthemic big song that harnesses the raw emotion and the power, but also has all the lyrics that both the IMC from the Olympics and the Coca-Cola brand want to get out what's important to the people, what's going to engage them, and it has the 5 notes, the sonic identity, the sonic logo, the branding incorporated into the song to make a bigger impact. On top of that, helping brands, find the right style of music, come up with music strategy about how they could be using music to engage their consumer, anything that's going to create a tighter bond between the brand, the television show, the network, the video game, and the end user using music is what we concentrate on.
So you deal in all mediums. You deal in film, you deal in commercials, you deal in television, you deal with brands. I take it you also deal in web content.
Correct, yes.
In terms of creating, and you spoke about the distinction between using pieces that are already existing and original content that you're going to create, like a custom piece, like the piece I think you referred to as with Coca-Cola and the
Sure.
Olympics.
Yeah.
So do you have under contract or within the music dealers universe a lot of original composers that do this specific kind of work as opposed to just songwriters?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have we kind of open up these custom opportunities to anybody who wants to participate from our music dealer community. So these are all professional musicians who we've pre-approved and hand-selected to be part of that community. So we'll kind of put out a blast to them and let them work on it. Or if it's something specific or in a specific language, right now we're localizing the World Cup anthem in Indonesia as we speak today. So in that instance, we'll just obviously target the artists that we have in Indonesia, in some of the other countries that are participating in the World Cup to localize not only the language, but take the music and add in different elements that are going to be appreciated by the local population, and they're going to appreciate that rhythm, the instrumentation, obviously the language as well.
Okay. Now, Music Dealers has made a lot of deals with some very big brands, CBS, MTV, Coca-Cola. I'm curious, how did, if you can talk about it, how did the Coca-Cola deal come together, number one? And number two, what was it about Music Dealers that you felt, in terms of pursuing that, would make a good fit for you and Coca-Cola? Because that's a hard brand to get to.
It is a hard brand to get to, and we've been very fortunate to have them embrace us. And we now have a Music Dealers office in their headquarters in Atlanta. They moved us in about 6 months ago to their headquarters in Mexico, Mexico City, to work on Latin America creative. We're doing the same in London right now. We have our own office, but they're moving us in to help with the European communications and creative. So it's been fabulous for us, and obviously for our artists, it's a dream come true because of the scale that Coca-Cola has with its marketing. 1.3 billion products served a day from Coca-Cola.
Right.
And if you're able to kind of harness that scale and attach music to it or attach artists to it, it's amazing what will happen. We actually have a couple case studies that we're discussing tomorrow with the Coca-Cola company.
Manuel's with you on that, yeah.
And we see it change our artists' lives. So if they get into a commercial and it goes into 207 markets potentially, we have a program of releasing one artist every week through Coca-Cola, and it could go to 70 million targeted Facebook fans or Twitter followers. So it's amazing the amount of exposure that it could really bring our artists. For the Coca-Cola company, they were having a very hard time getting quality custom music fast and in an efficient manner.
Okay.
So they were using some of the different major labels. They were going different routes to try to get it, but it would take a long time, and they would get one demo back, and they would listen to it. And if it wasn't perfect, it would take a long time to get it revised. So we threw an event for our launch of our New York office about 3 years ago. That's where I met the Coca-Cola team. They were at the event. Told us about the teen anthem that they needed to create, that they were having difficulty with. Told them what we do. I sent out the brief right there. That was a Thursday night, and by Monday, we had 20 artists create custom songs with the Coca-Cola 5 notes built in, really addressing the theme and the lyrics properly. And so Coke was blown away by that experience and what they got, so they brought us in a couple more times, and then they saw the story behind what this did for the artist. In that case, it was a Swedish artist, a Swedish band, and they were able to go on a European tour. They started their own publishing company. They started their own label. They released it. They had wild success for an independent band, and it was all because of the Coca-Cola company. So that adds to the story of providing optimism and hope and happiness in this world, not only through marketing but in real life every single day. The Coca company and others like McDonald's and Disney and some of our bigger clients are affecting our artists' lives for the better, kind of picking up the pieces that the record labels and the music business, the industry, is kind of left behind.